Am I ready to do this? Why am I nervous? I used to do these all the time. It's just me I'm talking to. Um, but I do need these reminders of how to talk um, in longer form, without preparation and no rehearsal, no practice, just off the top of my head. Um, it used to be easier, I think, because I didn't really expect anyone to actually watch. And so I didn't have to really worry or consider or concern myself over presentation or, you know, how things appeared. But now it's like, well, I want to, I don't know. So anyway, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So anyway, um, yeah, this isn't going well. Already, it's like I'm trying to think of. Well, I've had some thoughts about. Oh, I should talk about this or that, or well, what's going on? Okay. Um, well, the channel, exciting. The channel, if you want to call it that. Um, the last entry, I guess it was on the 15th of January. Oh, that was the other thing. Is that I say ahs and ums too often for my own taste, and I find it very distracting. So when I read something that I've written, I eliminate those for the most part, which is nice, and it actually speeds things up. Whereas if it's just me talking, there are quite a number of ums and ahs and little interstitial pauses where I'm trying to think of words. Um, right there. So I don't know. I think that's annoying, but that's just me being critical, criticizing myself. But I had a thought, and I've already forgotten it. So, oh right. Since the last video, 5 new people have decided to click that subscribe button, and it's like, okay. So I can only hope that people find something of interest, entertainment, or education, some value. Because sometimes I just am curious myself. It's like it sounds interesting sometimes, but a lot of times it's just me just. Life is not easy. I wouldn't say that it's hard, because I do have my particular set of difficulties, but I also have my own set of gifts. So it's not all bad, and I have a fairly decent background and support crew, that don't get talked about and don't get much recognition. But they're there. If I ever need them, um, they're there. It's just most of the time I'm just kind of going at it by myself. And I don't know, it sometimes feels like I make things more difficult than what they actually should be, but I don't know how not. It's like knowing the problem isn't the same as solving the problem. It's like just because I'm aware of things doesn't mean that I automatically have solutions or steps to work on fixing things. A lot of the times it's like being autistic. It's like, yes, I know, and it's like I also have problems with, my sensory experience, or not problems, but I have different sensitivities and considerations as far as the world and how I interact and perceive it, which it turns out is different than how a lot of other people experience things and notice things or don't notice things. I thought everyone just kind of experienced things or noticed things the way I did, but it turns out that they don't. Or it's like they notice them, but they notice them differently. I guess that's the thing. And then as far as like my social skills and communication and my style and my attitude and the way I talk, the way I move, the way I do everything, it's just a little bit different. Not in a bad way, not in a, just in a different way. So I guess there's that. And it's been, I think this way of communicating for me is I'm always looking for ways to find a voice and then to keep a record so things don't get lost. It does help, and I'm trying to go from topic to topic of things I wanted to mention while they're, it doesn't really matter, as far as time. I've got lots. It's just a matter of not wasting anybody else's, because they can click through. They can speed up. It's one of the functions. So anyway, I'm trying not to be boring, and I guess that's the other thing is I never used to really concern myself over other people's attention and other people's time. I was just, I was more concerned about using up disk space and bandwidth. And it's like by using the online, the cloud for my own personal storage, borrowed space to, it's like, who do I think I am to, use up space? As though that's like, I don't give myself enough credit that, because I see there's a lot of other people putting up all sorts of stuff, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, who am I to say or place or judge, what is, criteria for having worth or merit or validity or, and then the credibility of it as well. I am no authority. So, darn it, I had some other ideas, but I'm just rambling on. My tree is still here, my Norfolk Island pine. It has grown quite a bit. I now, because it's grown another tier on top of the other tiers, because it's grown in stages over the past 4 years since I got it. And I can now sit in the shade of this tree on my desk. Not that the sun comes in through this window until later on in the year. It's a west-facing window. And so later on in the year, the sun will come in this way and be right in my face. But the tree can kind of block a little bit of it, or I can just close the curtain like I do right now. But every day I have to open the curtain to make sure that the trees get light, because I did get a companion tree for the big one, and the little one is just out of view, but it's doing very well. Pretty happy with that. So, and work is work. I'm still at the same job, doing the same thing, and there's been some turnover of employees. Some people have been hired and some people have left, but mostly it's the same deal. And I'm still attending basically the same meetings that I had been, for recovery purposes, of the anonymous variety. I won't say what kind because, it is anonymous. And I've already probably say too much about it. You know, it's not secret, and it's not exactly private, but it's just not public, and it's not anyone else's business what I choose to share or don't share. You know, people can ask questions if they want, but it doesn't mean I'm always going to answer or even acknowledge. It's just kind of the way of things. And it might be considered, you know, rude or unconventional or unorthodox to not disclose information. But I don't know who's deciding these rules, but I don't think I ever agreed to them. Just because, you know, I don't know where it's written that some of these things that society dictates and civilization says that this is good, this is what people should do, and if you don't like society, well, feel free to opt out. Well, I've kind of been doing that. I'm not really playing by the same rules, or at least I'm, whether I knew it or not, or it's like I've just always been doing that. I've been under different governances, not really moved or seeking the same things in the same ways. I have a different set of priorities and motivations. And again, not better or worse, just different. It's like this holiday thing. I'm not good at holidays. It just happens to be, for no particular reason, the 14th of February. And, I don't know. To me, it's a month from the last time I did a longer form video. And I recognize that it's Valentine's Day. There, I said it. But to me, it's like it's never really held much extra significance. To me, it's a cultural phenomenon, and only. Well, I'm not going to go into it. The commercialism, consumerism of it. But there is quite a bit of it, and I see more than my fair share. But the actual sentiment of it is, it's not lost on me. It's just, I guess it just didn't play a personal part in my experience. I'm just, I do whatever it is I do in the way that I do it, and I'm accountable and responsible to myself, and I don't know, it's been that way for a long, long time, and for the longest time I was doing it under the influence, and I just drank a lot every day for a long time, and yeah, I was not happy with the situation, and the situation had to come to an end, not by my choosing. And it did come to an end, and it wasn't pretty. But yeah, so now in this life, I'm just glazing over that entire. Yeah, this time, it's like I'm doing it. This is all me. It's like everything that is seen, it's not anything else talking. It's not anyone else talking. It's just me being me, who I am. And I never knew who that was until these past few years. I've just been slowly discovering who I am, because I never felt like I was allowed or given the chance to discover that. I always thought I had to be this other person that society or my family or the culture that I'm surrounded by wanted me or assumed I should be for them. Because I have to behave according to and perform according to these societal biases of who I should be and how I should be, and live up to all these standards and expectations, and want these things too. Not just that I should do them, but I should want to be this person who I am not. And I tried to be for the longest time, and now I've just kind of quit it. I have difficulty enough just living and surviving in this world. And then it's also now it's not as hard just being myself instead of trying to be all these other things for all these other people and all these other situations. Now I can just be the one person. I only have to be the one person. And I can throw that person, just me, I can throw that person up against anyone, anywhere, any situation. It's the same person facing it. And I don't have to run, and I don't have to hide, and I don't have to panic. And as I'm a fan of saying, it's like, I'm not fearless. I just have less fear these days. So, I learned, and I'm still learning. I won't say the hard way, but it took what it took to get where I am now. And I don't know. It was tricky. It's like I just don't know. It's like I couldn't. Whatever was working for me back then, it's like it's still with me now. And but I couldn't duplicate it. I couldn't repeat it. I couldn't replicate it, and I wouldn't be able to even. I don't know how it works for anybody else. I don't represent anybody. So it's like I don't make any claims on, hey, here's some suggestions for how to do something and it'll work for you like it worked for me. No. If people have to find, I think, in my opinion, they have to find or should find, or I don't know, I can't really even say that. In my opinion, people are wise to seek their own answers instead of trying to adopt other people's. It's great to take suggestions and to see how other things worked for them. And it's like, well, make it your own. Take multiple opinions of how things have worked and how they worked out for all these other people, and then kind of integrate and adopt, and it becomes an amalgamation, conglomeration. And sometimes I kind of think about, have I just become sort of a construct? And the answer is yes. Yes, I have. I am a construct of everything, everywhere, everyone that I've ever come in contact to or with, and everything I've ever experienced. And as I tend to remember quite a lot. And so I'm very careful, or at least I try to be, with what I expose myself to. So in one way or another, it's like I almost need to live in a somewhat not a sensory deprivation tank of any kind, but I just need to moderate my senses, because I feel, I won't say too much, but I feel quite a bit, and it's a lot. Just there's so many people, and there's so many stories, and there's so many voices, and I just don't have the resources or the time or the attention to feel for all of it. So I have to monitor what I look at, because just seeing all of it, and then just the little bit that I do see, it's just heartbreaking. And then just all the stories that are going on around the world, and just the stories of like there's the stories of triumph and success and inspiration and innovation and human endeavors and exploration. But on the other hand, there's just so much suffering of everyone, everywhere, looking for answers, hoping for ideas, looking to the future, looking for anything that will make, things make sense, have things matter. And they want to feel valued, and they want to know that there are people out there working on solutions, and that they don't have to worry about it, because other people are taking care of it. We have systems in place, and we have top people in top places working on all these things. We will be saved. A hero is coming. And it's like, no, there is not really we have to save ourselves, I think. Individuals. No hero is coming to save us, or heroine, But have to work on saving ourselves. It's a self-rescue operation. So, and if everybody's working on their own self-help or self-rescue, it's like, everybody's allowed to have down days where they're just not able to save themselves or help themselves or rescue themselves. That's why we're able to lean on others, At least that's what I think. I didn't used to think like this. I didn't used to think at all. Not really. I was just kind of asleep. And now it feels less like sleeping and more like dreaming. And it feels interesting. It's like walking about in the world, and I just see people just kind of doing whatever it is they're doing. And it's like, I guess I'm just doing the same thing. But they all a lot of them seem to be coordinated and in touch with the same consciousness. They're experiencing the same thing and kind of accepting that everybody else is too. Whereas I'm just I feel like just an outsider, or I'm just kind of like a witness. And it's not really a choice either. I've always been in the observer status, feeling like I don't belong, misfitting in quite a bit. I fit in with a great tendency of the other people that do not fit in. And it's like some of us don't even recognize it. But I've gotten more attuned. But then it's not my job to let them know. I just kind of appreciate them and their way of processing the world. And it's like, I think that's cool. So, I don't know. So anyway, I've managed to ramble on for quite a bit, and I guess I'm happy with the end results. One nice thing about these entries in this format is I can actually choose a thumbnail that I like. And but the thing is, I do have to choose one from the material that is there. So it can be still a chore to find something that I like and is not too. But at least it won't be like eyes closed So some of the thumbnails that the software chooses for me, it's really, yeah. But it is what it is, and if I've said what I wanted to say well enough, and I didn't forget how to say things, or I didn't leave things out, then I'll take a bad thumbnail, because I just get tired, and I don't want to record again. And it's like, I'll do like 3 to 5 takes, and then I'll just choose whichever take has the least bad thumbnail and the best quality whatever it is I'm trying to say. And it usually tends to be towards the end of the session, if I want to call it that, even though it only takes like 10 to 15 minutes, from when I usually sit down to when I finish up, because it does tend to, like, I get practice saying what I want to say, and it's like, oh, that's good, and I keep that, and then I fine tune. I guess it's a little bit like rehearsing. But usually I only have a premise in mind when I start. And then the premise sometimes stays on track, and other times it evolves or changes entirely. But that's where it's in my notes comes in. Because in the video description, I put in the context. Not always, but a lot of times. I give an explanation of what it is that I was trying to say, because sometimes I can't fit it all in, or it doesn't explain itself or lend itself to having an explanation all during that less than 60 seconds, because I can't work really well within those 60 seconds to give an explanation, not to my own satisfaction. And I guess the other thing about these videos is that they originally were not designed to actually be watched, I don't think. They were there as a record for back in, what was it, 2000, I guess January of 2021 was when I started. Yeah, so I've been making videos for over 2 years now. And they were originally intended as a way to communicate and leave a record or have a record available for anyone to kind of get to know me. And also it was a good practice for me to speak and get used to myself speaking. So it's like here's a non-confrontational way of getting to know me, of and staying in contact, spending some quality time is what I used to call it, and also staying visible and staying accountable. So it is what it is, and I'm not sure if I guess a lot of it is still the same. I'm still doing it. It's a lot of it. The sense of it is still about the same, but the way I'm doing it has changed. So I did limit myself back in the day. I tried to get these to be less than half an hour, and I am at 29 minutes right now, and I don't expect anyone to watch much more than, like, people will watch like a couple minutes at most, and I'm surprised then. But those first couple of minutes are me just getting warmed up, so they won't even stick around for after I've gotten, going. So hopefully they click forward and see that I've gotten comfortable, because it takes me a little while to settle in, especially if it's been a month. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the support, and thanks for the subscribers that have subscribed, and thanks to the new ones, and thanks for the people that just visit. And then, what the hell's wrong with that guy kind of opinion, and then wander off back out into the world. But thanks for everything. So until next time.